light. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. There, all caught up. So, welcome back to StillerBros at the Movies, and today we are going to be seeing a movie that a lot of people are thinking is going to kill the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though I think it's going to be fine, because, you know, they've got like a billion things in various stages of production right now.
But mostly it's because douchebags think that diversity will kill the movies, and already wrote it off before even going into the theater to just see the movie.
Anyway, the Marvels. So, 4 years ago, Captain Marvel came to the big screen, even for the first time, and despite what a lot of people say, it made $1 billion.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are probably like, oh, it's because of the pre-Endgame hype, and it's like, no. It made $1 billion because it was another Marvel thing at the peak of its power. Now, along the way, Captain Marvel has shown up in Avengers Endgame, obviously, and of course has been one of those things where the Marvel's been sitting around waiting for a sequel, waiting to throw a sequel together.
And so now we have a sequel, and we have some new faces, a lot of new faces actually, joining the ranks of the movie, of this particular sequel.
First of all, we've got a brand new director attached to this project, Nia DaCosta, the director of, most notably, the Candyman reboot from a few years ago, which they had announced that she was going to be directing before Candyman even came out, so my only reaction was, wow, Candyman must be amazing. And basically, we don't know what caused Bowden and Fleck for them to decide that Bowden and Fleck were kind of on...
Maybe it was just the lackluster performance of the first movie that made them think maybe we should try another director, kind of in the same way that Joe Johnston didn't come back to direct the next Captain America movie.
Even though the first Captain America movie was fantastic, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But Nia DaCosta clearly feels close to the material. She stated in interviews since the movie started coming out that she has felt connected to the character Kamala Khan because she was also a teenage girl who was obsessed with superheroes and wrote bad fan fiction. Speaking of interviews, the SAG strike ended, but one day too late for the actual Marvel's premiere to have anybody there.
Yep. So, but speaking of Kamala Khan, taking her feature film acting debut is Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. So we just rewatched Miss Marvel the other day in order to prep for this. We didn't need to do that, but we got to do that. Yeah.
And it really highlights, again for us, just how weirdly effortless it was for Iman Vellani to step into the shoes of Miss Marvel.
And just as a little bit of a side note, I think Kamala Khan might be one of my favorite superheroes of all time, and I'm not saying this just based on the show, I'm saying this based on the comics, but I think Kamala Khan's Miss Marvel is one of my favorite superheroes ever, so take that with a grain of salt.
It's just the fact that she just kind of falls into it. She's clearly a huge fan of the material. She clearly relates to this character. But it's just the fact that she didn't even go into this wanting to be an actor. She just auditioned because she felt like she owed it to herself to at least try.
And then suddenly, out of nowhere, she's going to LA to screen test. And then as she's closing out her school year with Kevin Feige zooming in saying, "You got the part, kid."
And that's just kind of amazing, because she's just so good at playing Kamala Khan that you feel like that the character and the actor are one. And her magnetic charisma just kind of pulls you into her. It's amazing that this is all that she has lined up. Like, literally, nothing but Miss Marvel in her filmography.
But also joining the cast, we have Tiana Paris taking on the role of Monica Rambeau, which we saw previously in WandaVision, of the grown-up Monica Rambeau.
Now, all we know about what's going on in this movie compared to the last movie is that Carol left Earth and for whatever reason hasn't come back, and their relationship seems a bit strained. In WandaVision, they kind of implied that she doesn't want to talk about Captain Marvel. Here, from what clips we've been released so far, we kind of get the idea that her and Carol have not talked to each other. Carol wants to kind of start the relationship off the same way it seemed to, but Monica seems to be like, no, I'm an adult now.
It just kind of seems like the idea Monica has is that she wanted to be, is that she now has felt like it's way too long since she saw Carol, that she doesn't really know how to respond to her at this point.
And yeah, what else is there in there? Because, right, we've got a new villain, a Kree villain who seems to have some kind of connection to Kamala and Carol in some way.
Yes, played by Zawe Ashton. I feel like I butchered that, but I'm not sure. And who, fun fact, is engaged to Tom Hiddleston, who's with Loki Season 2 coming out to an end tonight. It's a big night in that household.
Yeah, and it's a big night for just Marvel fans in general. If you're not going to see the Marvels tonight, you're probably going to be watching Loki tonight. We're going to be seeing the Marvels first. We will join you when we can.
Yes.
What else is there to say besides the fact that these characters seem to be working? We've seen them in other stuff, and they worked great, especially Kamala Khan, because once again, we love the actress. Brie Larson is probably going to give it her all because they don't just hand out Oscars, contrary to popular belief. And Tiana Paris seems to work really well in WandaVision. I can't wait to see what she does with a full movie that at least partially focuses on her.
And there's a lot to be excited about, especially the expansion of certain things in the Marvel Universe. We get more Nick Fury after Secret Invasion. We get the return of Goose the Cat.
And a whole mess of other flirkins, because if there's one thing Marvel has earned from the first Miss Marvel, it's that people love cats. And yeah, other than that, I don't know off the top of my head who's doing the music.
I believe it's the same composer as Miss Marvel.
All right, well, we'll figure that out when we get there. And Kamala's family's back as side characters, just so that they can have that set up and everything like that.
But we got but there's a lot more to talk about, and we'll have more to talk about when we actually go in and see the movie.
So for right now, I guess we've gone off on tangents. This is probably cutting around a lot because we're just kind of ill-prepared in more than usual, so we'll see you after the jump. Marvel don't miss.
No, Marvel don't miss jack shit.
So this is one of the most interesting ways that Marvel could have followed up Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
When they announced that they were making a sequel to Captain Marvel, I'm going to be honest, my first thought was not body swap comedy, but here we are.
Yes.
So let's just jump right into it, because I don't know how else to lead into this. Yes, Nia DaCosta clearly took on a lot and clearly felt like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do all of it.
Yeah.
So this is a horror, comedy, musical, action, drama.
Yes. There is a lot of awesome creative action sequences, which I can't imagine were easy to put together.
I mean, the fact that they had to wrangle up the idea of, let's just swap these characters out if more than one of them is using their powers at once, and then figure out the logistics of how to organize and shoot it.
Especially with scenes, in fight scenes where characters are just supposed to appear out of nowhere and then disappear again.
That had to be a logistical nightmare, and I salute you, madam.
Yes.
And really, it's the big show stealer is, of course, as we were pointing out, Iman Vellani as Ms. Marvel. Come on.
Yes, Iman Vellani is a force. She has a incredible personality that is so captivating and so loving, and just she makes you fall in love with her instantly, and you just want to see more of her, and I can't wait to see where they go with her.
Because this does actually lead to where we hopefully will see Miss Marvel again. And, you know, it's just the fact that this is a character that the dynamic between her and Carol and Monica is just, she's coming into this as someone who is a fan of these characters, a teenage comic book nerd fan who just wants to be part of this world, wants to be an Avenger. You know where we're going with this.
Yes.
The strike's over. We can whore ourselves out as much as we want.
Yeah, we are good. Yeah, seriously, Kevin, give us we need a Zoom call. Well, we have ideas. Come on.
Come on. Come on. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. Brie Larson is better in this than she was in the first one. And
yes, I would say absolutely this one is better than the first one.
Yeah.
This is not a knock on the first one. The first one is still really, really solid.
The first one was a very solid Marvel movie, and that's all it needed to be because it was leading into Endgame. This one is much better, but not, once again, not a knock against the first one. But Brie Larson is good in this one and is good in the other one. But everybody who ever said that Carol Danvers does not have a personality, she's stoic, she looks mean and everything like that.
She needs to smile more.
You've been wrong since the beginning, but you're especially wrong with this one because she's quippy, she's emotional, she's giving a performance that everybody should really, really love her for this. And I'm so glad that we got more of this. Tiana Paris just kind of slots right in to that part. I'm going to be entirely honest. This feels, the relationship that her and Carol have in this movie really, really feels like nothing has changed between the two of them except for time. It feels like these two characters, these are the same characters from the first movie over again.
Yeah.
And that's good, that's great. The villain is a little, there's just something about Kree villains, really.
Yeah, it's just kind of, they're just kind of forgettable. There's not exactly, it's very a thin motivation, but ultimately they serve their purpose for what we really need in this, because really what this movie is about is the camaraderie between these three amazing women.
And the fact that we get whole scenes of them just sitting around, hanging out, figuring out how to strategize and to use the powers that they're given in this little handicap of two of them can't use their powers without swapping places with each other. Yeah. And I really love the fact that they take the time for that, and they have a fun little working montage. And then there's whole stuff like, hey, we haven't gone to enough weird planets on Marvel movies that aren't Guardians of the Galaxy movies. How about we go to an entire planet where the language is song? And we get a whole scene of Carol and Korean pop star
Park Seo-joon, I believe I may have mixed up the...
Whatever.
We're not K-pop stands, people. Give us a break.
But let's just have a scene where Carol and an alien prince are dancing around like she's a Disney princess and everything like that. How about that? Isn't that fun? Because remember, Marvel movies are fun.
Marvel movies are supposed to be fun. But then again, and the people who say they aren't fun are fucking morons who need to get their heads out of their asses and touch some fucking grass.
But on top of everything else, another big criticism is, well, at least another viral criticism of this, is that somehow this movie was made for a teenage girl audience and not comic book fans. Are we forgetting that while comic books are primarily made and marketed towards young boys, teenage girls also buy comic books?
Yeah, I guess we're supposed to forget that because, again, these non-grass touching fuckers have the No Girls Allowed signs firmly stuck to the front of their tree fort.
That's the thing. We as a society act like comics are a boys' club, but some of the most iconic writers working today in comics are women. Like, Gail Simone exists, people. Gail Simone,
Kelly Sue DeConnick, G. Willow Wilson.
This is just, and those are just a few of the names off the top of our heads of women who have written comics, who have worked on comics.
Iman frickin' Vellani wrote a Miss Marvel run.
So don't act like this is just a boys' club. It's marketed towards boys, but girls shouldn't be locked out.
No, and we're saying this as people who grew up as little boys who loved superheroes.
If it weren't for teenage girls wanting to be aware of the comic book sphere, we wouldn't know just as much about Mayday Parker, the amazing Spider-Girl, as we do her father, Peter Parker.
Yeah.
This is just how it is. So acting like that is just small-minded. But yeah, this is a fun movie. It's a fun movie. It remembers that it's a comic book movie. And I'm glad that it exists. Especially with the post-credits scene.
Yes!
A fantastic post-credits scene that makes me excited for what's coming next in the Marvel Universe.
The way this movie ends, we have things to get excited for in more ways than one.
I am so happy that no matter what happens to this movie, whether it's a box office disappointment or it blows every other movie for the past couple months out of the water, the Marvel Universe is secure.
Yeah, yeah, especially because, but the only thing that we can really be pissed about is that we just got through 5 months where nothing could shoot. So now we have all these release dates up in the air. We're not even sure if most of them are going to be able to make the release dates that they have right now.
But, yeah, I really liked this movie. I really am hopeful that we get to see more of these characters. I'm hopeful that every plan that they've set in place will find a way to get to the next level and be everything everyone expects it to be. And I hope that the disingenuous morons who continue to attack everything that is Marvel just simply because it's not what they want, because it's not something they like, and they immediately have to attack it, are proven 100% wrong.
Not even that it's not something they like, it's something that they don't even want to give a chance, because they will immediately discount it just because it stars women of color.
But all in all, what can be said other than I liked the Marvels. I really liked the Marvels.
It's probably the second best Marvel movie of the year. Cool.
Hard to beat Guardians.
Yeah, it's hard to beat Guardians. Guardians was the best Marvel movie of the year. Sorry, guys.
But this is another solid entry in the Marvel Universe. I hope to see more of Carol Danvers. I definitely hope to see more of Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau. Oh, well, where we leave off in this movie is gonna be epic.
It looks like that's it for right now, guys, because we gotta get home, because Loki Season 2 finale is happening right now, so we gotta get to that.
Yeah, so be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, leave in the comments what you thought of the Marvels, and don't forget to tune in next time when may the odds be ever in your favor. I can't whistle. Bye.